What's going on? This is your man B Will, and welcome back to another episode of We Working Wednesdays. Last week we got into talking about living your passion. We had 3 points that we talked about, and we wrote it on the mirror or wrote it down, whatever you did. If you didn't catch it, don't worry. You can still go check it out in the last video and catch back up with us for this week. This week we're going to get into looking back and reflecting. That's going to be our topic for this week. Some people may think, no, I don't want to look back. Back is the past. I want to let it go. But I agree with that to a certain extent. But at times we do want to look back just to keep us moving forward. You may ask me, what sense does that make? Or how can I look back and pull from there and still move forward? Pulling back from your past or looking back and reflecting, you can always change those negatives into a positive. What I mean by that, you can always find something to motivate you. We always need motivation. Motivation helps us thrive to move forward. Believe it or not, there's still some people who continue to live in their past. It's easy to do, but I tell you right now, if you continue to live that way, you will never move forward or you'll never succeed. You'll continue to let that drag you down or let that pull you back from where you're trying to get to. Which brings me to my next point. What can you take from looking back that can help motivate you? Whether you're pulling it from maybe a situation where you failed in, maybe you're pulling it from maybe your mom or dad was in your life, or maybe you're pulling it from a loved one left you, maybe, out of a relationship that happens. People get broken by somebody leaving out of their life. With me personally, it was my dad. My real dad was in my life. My stepdad stepped in, and I love him for that, stepping in and taking over. My mom had double duties. My grandma stepped in and took over, raising me. So that right there pushed me to no end. Like, just thinking about that helps me with my determination. It helps me with pushing through my failures. I failed at something. Somebody may tell me, you're not good enough to do this. I've had it told to me before I wasn't good enough. But that thought of my dad just leaving me helps me to push back even harder. I know I don't want to be like him. I know I want to prove him wrong. So right there just pushes me to have that grit and that hardness to push through any situation that I go through. So you're asking, how will all this help me now? In this situation now, I've looked back, I've tried to come up with some negatives and change them to positives. I've done that. Now what? Now is the time that you use it to refuel you. Use it as your fire. Use it as a new motivational tactic to redirect your path. Use it to just keep you pushing forward. These are the times where you don't know what to do. You've done what we've talked about. Now it's time for you to put it to action. Put those things to action. I promise you, if you find that motivation, if you find that if you look back in your past and find that negative and you change it to that positive, I promise you it'll push you to no end and keep you going further than you ever thought you can go before. So we've talked about looking back and reflecting. Just know that I don't want you to stay in that past. That's not what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to look in your past and then use it to push yourself forward. I always say when we look back, it helps us realize where we come from and how far that we've come, to looking forward to seeing how much harder we have to push to get to where we want to be. So remember, whatever it is that you're going through, whether it's now or back in the past, remember we always want to use that to make us stronger and wiser, so we can have what we need for that one more push. But thank you for tuning back in to We Working Wednesdays. Remember to like down low, subscribe, and share the motivation. Until next time, keep grinding.